Welcome, everyone. This is episode 12. This is a continuation of our last recording where we spoke about the All-Star Weekend, the roster, and whatnot. In this episode, we're discussing the Home Run Derby, its participants, new rules, our favorite moments, jerseys or no jerseys. And we'll start off with Immaculate Grid. My name is Gilbert.
Yeah, my name is Calvin from the 300 Club podcast and Encoded podcast and Encoded Media Group.
There we go. And we're going to kick it off with Immaculate Grid. You can
All
see my.
right. I can already tell, but I'm gonna struggle with this just by looking at the
Yeah.
statistics. Um,
Which
where
one
do you
you
want
want
to
to
start
start
off?
with?
Yeah, where do you want to start off first?
We could do 30-30, 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. I think that's a fun one.
All right, I want to use. I'm using MLB The Show for this one. Um, let's go. I want to go with A-Rod. I feel like people tend to
Oh,
forget about
he's
him.
definitely done that. You think
Yeah,
it's a low score or a high score?
I don't know. I don't think people know that he stole bases like that in his younger years.
No,
I'm pretty
you know
sure he
why?
did 30.
You know why I think it might be high because he's one of the only five members in the 40-40 club.
Ah.
So I
All
feel
right, so
like
let's try to think of somebody a little bit better.
um Carlos
But
Beltran maybe.
Carlos Beltran is a good one. I was gonna say Bobby Witt is probably not some one that
Uh,
people tend to think about nowadays because he's not as popular yet, but he's definitely a stud.
David Wright, I believe that this too.
David Wright, I want to go with David Wright.
Mhm.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Huh.
Yo, what a amazing career he had, huh? Like if it wasn't for the injuries, it would have been a lot better. But for the time being,
0.8. That was good.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know he reached the 30-30 club, bro.
Yeah. This dude, if he maintained himself, he was on pace to be a Hall of Famer, I feel.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know why, but for second base, 1 game minimum and 100 runs, I don't know why the name Luis Castillo comes into mind. I feel like people forget about him.
100 runs scored, right?
Yeah, or remember Roberto Alomar?
Yeah.
He was a beast back in the Blue Jays. I'm pretty sure people are not gonna remember him.
I would go with Alomar.
Or Aaron Hill too. A lot of sneaky second base picks.
Yeah. Because I'm usually thinking of players that are like in the top of the order too in the lineup to get that opportunity to run scores, score runs, you know?
Yeah, but that's why I also think Aaron Hill might be a sneaky pick because he's more of a hitter than he was, a burner on the bases or a leadoff hitter. So, but pick your poison, whichever one.
You said Alomar or Aaron Hill.
Yeah.
All right, we could go Aaron Hill. Let's see. Hopefully. Ooh,
Wow.
0.2.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of sneaky good players coming up from Toronto back in the day.
You know what's crazy? I feel like I remember him playing in Toronto with the other jerseys. Remember the black with the grayish kind of
Yeah,
thing?
with the gray and the blue. I love those jerseys, dude.
But I feel like I also remember him in the D-backs too for some reason. I don't know.
Maybe,
I think he did play for the D-backs too.
maybe. Um,
But which one?
100 RBI season. You remember the player Ronnie Belliard,
Yeah,
Cleveland?
I don't. Ronnie Belliard. He played for the Nationals, I believe, too.
I think so. Or did
I don't
he
think he
did
got
he
a.
ever reach
I don't think he got 100 RBIs.
Starling Castro ever?
Nah,
No.
it got to be a
Uh,
slugger.
well, at least 1 game in second base, so it can
At
be
least one game in second base. Yeah.
Justin Turner.
Nah, I don't think he got 100 RBIs.
All right, the question is, did he have to have at least 100 RBIs as a second baseman? I don't think so. And if you think
I don't.
about it, he did play second base before.
I don't think he ever had 100 RBIs in a season.
I'm sure he had. I'm willing to take a risk on that one.
Turner?
He's always batting third, no matter what team he's on.
Nope.
No, wow, never reached 100 RBIs,
Mm-mm.
bro. He's been batting 345 throughout his entire career. He never had 100 RBIs. That's crazy. That's crazy. Jorge Posada played second base once. I remember that. My question is, did he ever reach 100 RBIs?
He played the whole game at second though.
No, but I mean, I don't think you have to play the whole game though, do you?
I think you have to play enough that it's considered a game. I don't know what's
Oh,
considered
okay.
a game as a position player.
Damn. I'm trying to think.
I remember when he did it. I think it was only an inning. I believe he did Posada.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Literally to close out the game, and he threw a bullet to first. Fun
Yeah,
times.
Swisher blessed him. I remember.
Yeah, he saved them.
Yeah, that was
Um,
big.
Second baseman. Damn. I feel like there's somebody
I feel like Mookie Betts would be a little too obvious.
a little too obvious. Yeah.
Pedroia is a little too obvious. Cano is a little too obvious.
I'm trying.
Soriano did it.
I know, but he's probably more common. But yeah, let's go with Soriano.
You think people remember Soriano as a second baseman or an outfielder?
Yeah. When I think of Soriano, I think of the second baseman for the Yankees.
Really?
I do. Yeah. Because
Big
that's where he
Yankee
came
fan
up.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where he came up, and it just looked like that position went with him.
I feel like if you're not a Yankee fan and you think of Soriano, I don't think you think about him as a second baseman though. Only because I feel like his best moments he was already an outfielder, you
He
know?
was already an outfielder. I agree. I agree.
We could
Yeah,
go. I think that's a sneaky pick, low key.
let's go. Let's do it.
Three, okay.
Okay.
3%.
Well, 30 plus stolen bases as a second baseman, or at least play second base once. I mean, there's a lot of sneaky fast. Put like Chuck Knobloch. That's like a sneaker pick.
He stole 30 bases before?
I'm pretty sure he has. I mean, he was small. I'm assuming he ran. There
Oh,
you
okay.
go. Oh, 3%. Damn. Okay. More common than you think. Um, 300 average, 30 stolen bases. The 300 average part is going to be. Did
Yeah.
Miguel Tejada ever have 30 stolen bases?
I would assume, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think so. I think so.
You want to try that? Miguel Tejada? Because I know he batted 300 before.
Yeah.
He was a beast, bro.
I think Jose Reyes might be a little too common. What you think?
Jose Reyes? Yeah, I think so too. I think that might be a comment. What about damn, did Vernon Wells ever reach 300 average?
I would say, yeah, maybe in Toronto,
He was
maybe.
a hitter too. He was a good hitter. Let's try Vernon Wells. I haven't seen or heard of him in a while.
Yo, you remember Alex Rios from the Blue Jays too?
Yeah, he was also another
Oh,
one. Damn, no. Alex Rios, he was another good hitter, but I don't know if he did. I don't know if he was that. But Carlos Gonzalez, that's a good one.
for stolen bases?
Yeah, yeah, I think he reached 30 stolen bases before. I think he hit 30-30.
I don't think so. I
We
know
could
he
try
got
him.
up to 100 RBIs though.
Yeah, let's try him for 30-30 then. Super sneaky pick, very underrated.
Nope.
Nope. Can we try him for the 30 and 100 season?
Yeah.
No, did he ever reach 300?
I think yeah, when he was in the race for Triple Crown with Joey Votto.
Cargo?
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
2011, I
Damn,
believe.
that was a really good one. Not a lot of people think about him. That's crazy.
Yeah, he had a short peak, but his prime was really dope. We got
Nice.
one more guess, bro.
One more. Damn.
We gotta find a day where we do this and we get every box.
Yeah, that we got a good one.
30 homers, 100 RBIs. I want to see somebody that did that once, maybe, or twice.
Chris Carter.
Who?
Exactly. Chris
Who?
Carter. He was a first baseman back for like the Houston Astros. He wasn't a good fielder by any chance, but I think he did 30 and 100. But he was like the epitome of um home run or strikeout or getting walked. Chris Carter. If we get that one wrong, bro, I'm sorry. Or you could put Chris Davis.
Which one? I will go with the skinny Chris Davis.
Um, from the Oakland.
Yeah, what you think?
Yeah, yeah, let's do it. That's even rarer. Yep, it starts with a K. Um, KH, I believe. That's how you spell his name.
Oh, he has.
Mm-hmm. There you
Oh,
go.
yeah, yeah.
Those were two really good picks at the end. They were
These
less
three,
than,
these four were amazing.
yeah. All right. So then now let's go ahead and dive into the deep episode. Well, into this episode, excuse me, where we're gonna be talking about the home run derby, and we're gonna be talking about the rules and in which they changed it. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Forgive me. There you go. All righty. So now let's go ahead and talk about the rules here. And here we are. So, as far as the MLB rules, they changed a little bit now. There's a whole new different format. Is there something that you want to elaborate in terms of the rules? Really quickly, want to dive into it?
No, you got it.
All right. So, one of the biggest adjustments now is that there's going to be a time clock on these participants. I'm sorry, I had it here and I completely lost it. Um, that now it's timed, which I'm not totally against. I think that for the sake of the home run derby being dragged out too long, I feel like this is probably going to be a little bit more entertaining. People don't understand that when it comes down to like home run derbies, it gets really exhausting, like having to crank up that much power, that consecutive back to back. Um, I'm trying to find the rules here, but I can't really. I'm trying to find it. Where to tune in. Sorry, this whole article is long. I hate the fact that they didn't like concisely put like what the rules were. They just wanted to put it all in a whole new
Yeah.
article. But there you go. So this year's format is that there's going to be three rounds, same in length, and there will be a pitch limit as well. It's either 3 minutes that the round expires or 40 pitches, whichever one comes first. And yeah, the final hitters, there will be allotted 2 minutes, excluding any bonus time, and a maximum of 27 pitches. Um, how do you feel about the rules?
I mean, there was already a time limit the last what 4 or 5 years. I'm personally not a fan of the time format that they've been having. I'm not a fan of the new format that they're going to implement now. I'm more traditional. I prefer the 10 out format. I believe if you're hitting home runs, you hit as much as you can. You got 10 outs and you get that bonus ball with 9 outs. Remember the gold ball?
The gold balls, yeah.
So yeah, I like that format a little better. I do like that they have brackets now. That's interesting.
Yeah,
The well, they've
I
had it for
agree.
a few years now, but I do like the bracket concept too. Either or.
Yeah, I agree with that. I did like the whole bracket style competition type of thing. It really makes you feel like you're going head to head with somebody. There are times, however, that with the brackets, like some of my favorites get eliminated or they get put against one another, depending on the scenario. Um, I agree. I did like the whole 10 out format. I feel like it gave everybody a better opportunity to just at least go for records. Like the record that Josh Hamilton broke, now that's like irrelevant now because they changed the format. It's not the same as it was before. But that
Yeah.
was completely entertaining. Like I think it was a superhero-esque performance that he put on, which I'm gonna dive into a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like, there's changing the rules every other year or so, and it's a little bit frustrating because it's like every year there's like a new rule, and it's just like leave it how it is, let it rock for a few years, so that way you can at least establish some type of continuity.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Um, and then, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like the players can stop the clock, which is, I don't know why I always thought like them drinking Gatorade in between the at bats was pretty cool because you never know who's coming out to bring them the Gatorade or whatever. Like,
Or whatever, yeah.
yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. And there's a pot now, which I think is really good for the incentive. I believe there was one year where Pete Alonso purposely signed up for the home run derby because the pot that they had it was higher than his salary. Yeah, so I don't knock him. He doubled up. So now going into our favorites, I believe that you mentioned at a previous episode, which the link will be down in the description. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. You had Marcelo Zuna as your favorite. Am I wrong, or is it somebody else that you wanted to highlight?
He's one of my favorites. I feel like he's having a phenomenal year. He has a nice swing for home runs, and I feel like he's a guy that relies a lot on repetition and being streaky. And I feel like if he gets going, he hits like five in a row, good ones. I feel like he's gonna go on the tear, especially with whoever, depending who he faces to in the first round. You know?
Yeah, I look at this guy and it's like his confidence is through the roof. I was watching the Foul Territory podcast with Chris Sale, and he was just talking about Marcelo Zuna, how much of a clubhouse presence he is, just good vibes, good positivity. I feel like in these environments with the home run derby, it's best to just stay loose and just have fun and just let your bat do the talking. He's one that day to day, when I see him swing, I feel like the ball just jumps off his bat. Like it's really more or less effortless the way that he swings. And he's been carrying the Atlanta Braves ever since Acuna has gone down. Like he's gonna be at least 30 home runs. I'm pretty sure he's gonna reach 100 RBIs. He's batting 301 right now. OPS is nearly out of one. It's a phenomenal season that he's having so far, and I felt like I feel like he's definitely one of these people that he has a chip on his shoulder in a way. I feel like because he had all these like domestic abuse allegations or the DOI allegations that MLB has not been promoting him until he became an all-star, and I feel like he's definitely going to take advantage of this opportunity. So that's the way I feel about it. Anything else that you want to share on Marcelo Zuna?
No, not really. Just looking forward to seeing him put a smashing performance in the Derby.
Yeah, yeah. And then my favorite, the hometown favorite, is gonna be Adolis Garcia. I feel like this guy, I mean, it's his home ballpark. I feel like in the moments where the cameras shine brightest, he comes out and he does what he got to do. I mean, look what happened in the World Series. If you look at this guy's biceps, bro, they're like literally the size of my thighs. Like this dude is huge. Um, I just feel like with his swing, I feel like because it is so compact, I feel like in terms of longevity in the home run derby, I feel like he definitely has what it takes to go further and hit more home runs consecutively. How you feel about Adolis Garcia being my favorite?
I mean, this dude is strong, bro. He went on a tear, especially in the playoffs last year. Um, he doesn't seem to be doing as good this year, but let's see. It's a derby. It's a little different, you know. The ball's coming way slower. There's a pace to maintain there, so maybe he gets on a streak, and maybe he uses the home field advantage as fuel, you know, for motivation.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And as we look at the other participants as well, we have Pete Alonso from the Mets, Alec Bohm from the Phillies, Aldez Garcia from the Texas Rangers, as we mentioned before. Gunnar Henderson, which you mentioned yesterday, is a sleeper pick for you. We have
Yeah,
Teoscar Hernandez. Let me tell you something about people as the caliber as Teoscar Hernandez. I feel like every home run derby, there's always a standout, somebody that you didn't necessarily expect to do so well. Like I think last year for me was Ali Rushman, and this year I think it's Teoscar Hernandez. So, he's one who's a very sneaky pick. So I'm curious to know how he would do. Marcelo Zuna, as we mentioned before, Jose Ramirez, and Bobby Witt Jr. I actually saw a collegiate video of Bobby Witt Jr. at a home run derby.
yeah.
Um, and bro, you'd be surprised. He's actually pretty good at these things. So,
He probably got the
uh,
nice lift, the nice like launch angle, whatever.
yeah, yeah, very sneaky. And he has sneaky power as well. So I'm curious to know how he's gonna do. Um, any one of these athletes that you want to go ahead and highlight and share your opinions on before we move
But
on
like,
to the next topic?
I feel like Gunnar Henderson has sneaky power too.
Yeah. Yeah. How is right field in Globe Life Park? Do you know about like their dimensions or anything like that?
I always felt like Texas Stadium was always a big ballpark. You know, everything's bigger in Texas. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, they remember they used to have the big wall in left field until they renovated the ballpark. I don't know. I feel like it's a big stadium, so that'll be interesting. I know right center is kind of far, like the corners, the power alleys.
Yeah.
They're pretty far, so I would recommend these hitters to probably just pull everything to if you're righty to left field, if you're lefty to sorry, if you're righty to left field, yeah, and if you're lefty to right field, because going up the middle is gonna be tough in Texas.
Yeah, and I think one of the major factors is if they're gonna have the roof open or not. That Texas humidity, you already know that if it's humid, the ball tends to fly. So I'm curious to know if they're gonna allow the roof to be open, just to create a more, I guess, a more humid environment. But it could be a more entertaining environment having all of these balls fly out the ballpark. How do you feel about that?
Oh, that's a great perspective. I didn't even think about that because that does factor into a lot. Like, of course, with the roof open and more heat and humidity, the ball will fly more. They're probably gonna play a factor into that. Probably have the stadium open and pump the AC around the stadium, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool, but in these festivities where you have a lot more people than normal at this
Yeah,
facility, maybe
yeah,
having the roof open is probably not going to be the best thing. But in terms of entertainment and just having the balls fly out the ballpark, I think they should definitely consider having the roof open. And that stadium is beautiful, man. Like
like
I
it.
did it. I was a big fan of their ballpark before. They redid it. And I was actually shocked that they were planning a new stadium because I love their ballpark. I love Arlington. I thought that was a pretty nice ballpark. But I love Globe Life. I like how like in MLB The Show when you're a lefty and you make a home run, like how like the stands and all the windows look and stuff. I think it's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Anything else that you want to share about these participants before we move on to the next topic?
Just don't sleep on Pete Alonso either. He's went for his third win. So let's see.
Yeah, and that's a great point because Pete Alonso, if you remember, he's won the home run derby twice already. And I believe the last time he competed, he made it look so easy. Like he was bopping his head. I mean, we could go ahead and talk about this now. We wanted to highlight some of our favorite performances in home run derby history. And one of both of ours, I'm glad that you brought this up when we were texting each other in preparation for this meeting, is Pete Alonso's home run derby performance, both times.
Yeah,
We mentioned that he wanted to partake in this because his salary was lower than what the pot was. So he definitely doubled up. And he just made it look so incredibly easy when he was, hitting these homers. Anything
yeah.
you want to highlight?
Yeah, this dude, he relies a lot on pace, man. And if he can get going and he gets the right pitching, I think he has a chance. Though I think last year he didn't do as well, but I feel like he didn't have the right pitching coach throwing the ball to him. I feel like the guy was throwing in areas where he couldn't really get in rhythm, you know. And I feel like people don't talk about that. Like wherever you pick as your pitcher to throw you BP for home run derbies, you guys gotta be in sync. Like, you guys gotta work a specific location, a specific rhythm. Now that it's time too, you gotta consider everything, you know. So hopefully he learned from that and he gets going this year.
Yeah, nah, he makes hitting these home runs look effortless. And I think that he's coming into this home run derby very motivated because it was rumors that he did not want to partake in the home run derby if he was not selected in All-Star. So there's a little bit of controversy when it comes down to, that type of decision. So I think he's
Yeah,
coming into this pretty motivated. And if he was to win his third home run derby, I think that'd be a phenomenal achievement. I don't
just
think
like
there's
Ken
been,
Griffey Jr. too.
yeah, that's pretty cool. Anytime that you're in a conversation with those athletes, yeah, that's a good thing. So I know it's just a home run derby, but hey, I would love to have one of those trophies in my showcase. I think that'd be pretty cool. You
So,
mentioned having um a trustworthy pitcher pitch to you during these home run derbies, and one of which that I want to highlight was one of your favorite All-Star moments, and that was when Bryce Harper did it with his dad.
yeah,
Back when Bryce Harper was in the Nationals. Let's talk about it. How do you feel about that one?
that was cool, man. I'm pretty sure they enjoyed it. It gave me vibes of Robinson Cano too when he did it with his dad many years prior, remember? So
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like that's a way for them to bond, share a memory, and stick around the sport of baseball too, you know?
yeah.
And I loved watching them. They had a game plan. They wasn't wasting no time. They was pitching me for the next pitch, kind of landed. It was awesome. It was awesome.
I agree. I agree. I was excited that Bryce Harper, in the midst of him being called overrated, I feel like that's a chant that's gonna follow him throughout his entire career, no matter how well he does. I feel like that stigma is always gonna be attached to him because of the way he was brought up to the MLB. But it was cool that at this point in his career, as he was getting established, playing for the Washington Nationals, that he was able to partake in these festivities. Because you already know sometimes superstar players don't really want to partake in these festivities in All-Star break, and that's
Yeah.
a shame. And that's across every sport. But he's a superstar nonetheless, and he competed in this with his dad. I think it was a special moment. He spoke about the influence that his dad has had on him growing up. Helping him train, taking him to the Dominican Republic to be trained, hitting beans in the backyard. So anytime if I was an MLB player, this is definitely something that I would have wanted done with my dad. I'm pretty sure you feel the same way too. So it was great. Um, in continuation, there was another home run derby favorite moment that you wanted to speak about, and I'm curious as to know why. And one thing that I do want to highlight is look how clean those jerseys look.
Yeah. Um, that was a great All-Star moment too. Prince Fielder, as you can see, he was raking. The jerseys are sick, man. I feel like they represent the Royals. They have the little crown on top. it gives a little, influences from like the actual colors of the jerseys, but then also like features from the ballparks and the brand. So I like
Yeah. And what was it about this performance with Prince Fielder that you enjoyed so much? Why was this one of your favorites?
because he hit a couple opposite field home runs, and that's pretty impressive as a lefty too. And then he was just cruising that thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good point. I wish we could show the video, but due to copyright reasons, we can't really do that anymore. But great point. He was going oppo on a lot of these swings. I feel like I remember specifically at this time, Prince Fielder was my favorite to win that home run derby. And the reason why is because I feel like the way that he sets up, where he's very stable and then he does kind of like a toe tap and then launches into the ball. I feel like that does really, really well in home run derbies or for home run hitters in general, just doing that load, double tap, and then going into your
Yeah,
swing. And
yeah,
I feel like that momentum that he created suited him well in this home run derby. And it was a phenomenal moment. He took a picture with his sons. I actually met one of his sons at the Nike store when he used to work for them. And they're grown now. So it's crazy that when you look back at this in 2012 and then as the years go by, those kids that you see on TV, now they're grown.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I just felt like it was a great moment. Prince Fielder had a great career, ended far too soon. I would have loved to see how he would have done in the Tigers at that time. But nonetheless, moving on to somebody else whose career also didn't pan out the same way, but nonetheless still had a great run at the Home Run Derby, and that was Josh Hamilton. This was one of my favorite moments for different reasons. It took place in Yankee Stadium in 2008. The last year of that original Yankee Stadium. I love the jerseys. I feel like it was very simple, very clean. And this was a moment that I feel like just christened the Yankee Stadium. Like he broke the record. I felt like every ball that he was hitting was jumping off the bat. I felt like his swing, like that cock and load into, whacking at the ball really did him well. He definitely took advantage of that right field porch, but it didn't even matter. It was just the ball was just jumping. Do you remember this home run derby?
Yeah, man, he was going back and forth with Justin Morneau from the Twins at that time.
Justin Monroe.
I
Oh,
feel
damn.
like Josh Hamilton went on for like half an hour just hitting. And remember, this was they had 10 outs, so he was just rolling. He was
Yeah.
just freaking. He was sitting it out the actual ballpark into the train station. That was probably one of the best derbies of all time, in my opinion.
I agree. And I think that was the beauty of it too back in the day was the fact that he was just going and going and going and it felt as though he was never going to get the 10th out. And you brought up like a solid point. Him and Justin Monroe were actually going back and forth. That was very entertaining to
Yeah,
watch back in the day. So really, really good that you pointed that out. It's crazy to think that some of these home run derby winners, they ended up like their careers ended up not panning out the way that I guess it should have. Um, and I say that because the next participant that you wanted to discuss was Yoenis Cespedes, another person whose career was cut short via injuries. He did this in the ballpark of Citi Field. I love the uniforms as well. I thought it was very, very well designed. I don't know where they're going with it nowadays. We're gonna show you guys. But this was extremely entertaining to watch. I feel like this was his coming out party. How do you feel about this one?
that was a fun event. City Field All-Star game, brand new ballpark at the time. I'm a Met fan, and we had a couple All-Stars that year too. But the Derby was just phenomenal, man. Like, so that's what as he hit a ball to the third deck, I believe. I think he's one of the few players that's ever done that. And I think he went back to back this year, if I'm not mistaken. So it was nice to see. And like you said, I think this is his coming out moment. Like, yeah, like I'm one of the game's best sluggers. You know what I mean?
He had one of my favorite swings growing up. Like if you look at the way that his stance was, it was very compressed, very simple. And then as soon as the
Powerful.
pitch came, yeah, he just had all his momentum and all his weight shifting towards the pitcher, and then it exploded. And this example, this home run derby was a perfect example of his swing and how he generated his power. Yoenis Cespedes, his workouts as he was coming out of Cuba were immense. Just the type of things that he was doing, like squatting and it was just this dude was a freak of nature. And it sucks that his career ended because of these injuries. I wish he had a little bit more longevity. Um, But nonetheless, it was a phenomenal home run derby experience. Viewing this at Citi Field, Citi Field alone, I think it's a beautiful stadium. And this was definitely really cool. Now we're gonna dive into. We've been teasing it long enough, and that's the jerseys. These are the jerseys for this year's All-Star break, All-Star game. How do you feel about these jerseys?
These are nasty, bro. I like the hat though. I like the hat. The hat they actually tried. You know, they put the star, Lone Star State with the two stripes. I like that a lot actually. The hat with the two stripes. But the jersey, bro, what is this, bro? Like what pants do you even give them? You know, like what do you wear? What do they wear? Royal blue pants? I mean, light blue pants, gray pants, charcoal pants, and you got what, tan pants? I don't know, bro. I think it's a miss. I feel like the words are too big too. I feel like how you showed those jerseys from the past. Like I feel like they was more concise, but they also showed something from like the stadium or the brand. Like in City Field, they had the skyline in the back, you know, because that's in the logo. Yankee Stadium had the arches from the stadium in the top, you know.
Yeah, the
The
facade.
Royals,
Yeah,
the Royals had the crown. Like
yeah.
this doesn't really tell me anything, bro. What does this tell me? And then on top of that, the colors don't even resemble the Rangers, bro. Like these look like Marlins jerseys, bro.
They do. They absolutely do. I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that we agree on that. They,
I don't
if
know.
somebody was to wear the National League jersey and I was supposed to guess as to which All-Star game that was, I would think Marlins. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
even know. Or like the American League is like Arizona, like Los Angeles Angels. Like I don't understand it. I despise these jerseys. I'm tired. I'm tired. Simplicity is phenomenal, but only when it applies. Like only when the situation calls for it. I feel like because it is an All-Star game, you could have put a little bit more effort into the design of the jersey versus just having it say National League. Like they don't even use the American League and National League logos anymore, bro.
Oh yeah, the Eagles. I remember with the
They don't
squares
even
like
use
that.
that.
Yeah.
And that's a damn shame. I hate these jerseys. My question to you is, do you feel like MLB should continue to have different jerseys for All-Star games representing the host team? Or do you feel like MLB should allow players to rock their own representative jerseys in the All-Star games?
I'm a fan of them having custom All-Star game jerseys as long as the execution works. Um, Before I answer your second question, I do think it's interesting that you can see the effort they put into the hat that is different to the jerseys, and I think I know why. The hat is manufactured by New Era, I believe, no?
Yeah.
New York Caps versus the jerseys are manufactured by Nike. So that means it's two different people creating these parts of the uniform. It's not one, it's not just one for everything. And I think that's why the hat looks so much crispier and better than the actual jersey.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure they have to be collaborating on it in
They have to
some sort of
collab,
way.
but they still have their own, chain of command or whatever.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't go, honestly speaking. Like I don't feel like it's as seamless as they hoped that it had been. And like I'm curious to know like how the bottoms are gonna look. I'm gonna leave that as a surprise when the actual game is going on.
Uh,
So go back into the question in terms of,
um,
should they come out with new jerseys every year for All-Star games, or should they rock their representative teams during the All-Star games?
I, I,
You
I just feel like a lot of people are in favor of like them wearing like their home and away jerseys. I just don't want to see that because these teams already wear their home and away jerseys the whole year. Like I'm trying to see something different. I'm trying to see maybe a favorite player that I have wear a different color on him. Like I'm gonna give an example. You guys as a Yankee fan, for example, right? You guys see Aaron Judge in pinstripes or gray jersey. He never has his last name on the back because Yankees don't have last names on the jerseys. This is an opportunity where you can have an All-Star jersey and you can see his last name on the back and see how it can look. Or maybe if you're a fan from another team, let's say you're a Reds fan or a D-backs fan and you like Aaron Judge and you hope to land him, you want to see how he would look in another jersey to give you an imagery of how he would look in your team, you know? That's how I see it.
I agree. Usually I try to go opposite of what you're saying just to create an overall debate. But how do you guys feel about it? Do you feel as though for the All-Star game, should jerseys come out every year representing the host team, or do you feel like they should be rocking their own jerseys during the All-Star game? My personal opinion, I'm not opposed to having these jerseys come out every year because I get it from a marketing perspective. Also, there are memorable moments that are created during All-Star games, like Cal Ripken's final year, for example. He was rocking the Orioles jersey, but what if they came out with a jersey for that time period? I would want to get that jersey because it was a memorable moment between him and A-Rod, giving like allowing Cal
Yeah,
Ripken to play shortstop and so on.
yeah,
Like that Josh Hamilton jersey, it was the Yankees one. I would have liked to had purchased that. That's a memory. That was something crazy that happened in our live that I was able to see. So I'm not opposed to it, like you said. I think that is when it's executed properly, I think it can look really, really good. I agree to your point that a lot of these players who wear their team's uniform throughout the year, it does get a little bit boring. Like I don't want to see Aaron Judge wear road grays in All-Star games or
yeah.
pinstripes in All-Star games. I don't want to see that. I want to see them with a different flavor. I'm not opposed to that idea, but at the same time, I look forward to seeing what type of new jerseys come out during the All-Star break. So I think I'm going to be a little bit biased to that. Anything else that you want to share?
Yeah, and I think these jerseys would have looked 10,000 times better if they removed the league word and just leave it American and National, probably. I
Yeah,
think
that's a good take. Yeah.
I think that's probably why it looks so bad on top of everything else I don't like in a jersey. But if you remember, most of those jerseys from the past, they only said either American or National. They didn't have to say league in the bottom, you know? I
Yeah.
think that's overkill in my opinion.
I just don't understand the colors. Like it looks very Miami-ish. It just doesn't. I don't know. I don't know where this came from, to be honest with you. I'm curious to know if you guys know where the inspiration came from behind these jerseys. Go ahead and share them in the comments. Um, make sure that you guys like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok,
Sure.
on YouTube at the 300 Club Podcast. But I don't know, man. I just feel like these were definitely a miss. Definitely a miss. Where are you going to be watching the All-Star game?
Yeah, I'm still gonna be here. I'm probably gonna watch it at home or we can meet up or stream or something. Yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be a pretty good idea. I'm pretty sure the fans would probably appreciate that as well. Maybe we could do a stream or something. But besides that, man, I don't think there's any more topics that we need to discuss. Is there anything else that you want to go ahead and share before we, leave it to the peoples?
Nah, man, just looking forward for this little break. My Mets are rolling right now. The
Yeah.
Yankees are sinking a little bit, so I'm a little happy. But I want both New York teams to do well. So let's see, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully, strong second half coming up.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be a lot more discussion coming in. Like I said, this is the All-Star game, the All-Star break. It gives us a chance to regroup. We do have a lot of little fun projects coming to you guys. We're gonna have another episode of the Encoded Podcast where we speak about our experiences being players and our upbringing as well. Discussions that we had with Gilbert here, and we have more generalized discussion going on with the Yankees and Mets. The trade deadline is approaching. So as soon as the All-Star break is done, we're gonna go ahead and come out with an episode on the trade deadline. See who do you think is gonna be moving to another new team. What are some team needs in terms of the Yankees and the Mets? And I'm curious to know, some takes as to, the Mets are rolling.
Yeah,
Let's see what pieces they could come up with during the All-Star break. I think that'd be pretty fun. As well as the Yankees, I'm really excited for this trade deadline for different things. I feel like the Yankees need to upgrade their infield, and I'm curious to know what they can cook up with. But nonetheless, we'll save that for the next episode. Thank you guys for watching episode 12 here on the 300 Club podcast. Yeah, go ahead and sign us out, Gil.
my name is Gilbert. This is Kelvin. This is 300 Club Podcast. Stay tuned. Subscribe to our YouTube. You know, we out
You
of here.
know.